Welcome into Jets Nation Radio episode 14 there, folks. I'm your host, Angus Hout. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Boxing Day edition. As you can see, we got a proper mic now, so you don't have to listen to such terrible quality. Hopefully it actually turns out. That's like my biggest thing right now. Back in the closet, and I've got cats outside the door who would like to come in and hang out with me, but I am not allowing that to happen. So yeah, if you hear the door just moving suddenly, it's the cats. But yeah, Merry Boxing Day, and World Junior Championship is underway. We had, the Swedes taking on the Russians earlier. That was a phenomenal game. If you're looking for great action in the World Juniors this year, definitely be paying attention to both the Swedes and the Russians. The Russians, hard to say how good they're going to be. Their goaltending was atrocious this afternoon, but their starting goalie this afternoon looks like you could just fire any old shot at his 5-hole, guaranteed goal. So love to see the Russians struggle a little bit. Like, I mean, I love the Canada-Russia rivalry, but there's something about watching Russia struggle a little bit in the World Juniors. It's like, brings me joy. Which also brings me to another point. Please be kind to these teenagers. Don't make your whole winter experience based off of teenagers playing hockey. You're better than this. I'm better than this. Yeah, it's fine to tweet a mean tweet and be like, the only guy I can think of right now is Perfetti, and he probably won't mess up too bad, but let's just say hypothetically Perfetti is the reason we don't end up getting gold because of a missed shot or a bad pass. Please don't tweet at him or find him on Instagram and tell him you're going to beat him up because he didn't score or something like that. Be better than that. Come on. It's 2021. We're past this. Yeah, you can be mad and be like, I just tweeted about Cole Perfetti making a bad play and costing us gold. But don't get on these kids for it. Like, they're not fully grown adults yet. We don't want to be putting all of the pressure on them. You can take out your pressure on other things, just don't take it out on teenage kids who play for Team Canada. We are better than this, so be kind to those poor kids. So yeah, I'll be getting to the World Juniors a little bit more in this podcast, but until then, we'll just do what we normally do. Darnell is off tonight. I told him just to take it off. I'm a little bit hoarse because I'm kind of sick, but not like COVID sick. You know what I mean? I just don't want to get my buddy sick. So Darnell's got the night off, and I get to continue to record. Woo! I will be back for January 2nd, which is next Sunday, but if Darnell's not back, well, way she goes, I suppose. So yeah, let's get this podcast started. First question of the week for myself. This was supposed to be a two-man podcast, but again, things change. But the first question of the week was, what was the best Christmas gift that you've gotten that was hockey-related? And I have to go back all the way to the age of 8, where my dad bought me a Team Canada 1972 jersey. It was like one of those ones that was like, I think it was like kind of a knockoff one where it wasn't like a legit jersey, but it was still like a pretty darn cool jersey, like the one I've got behind me, Campbell Conference. Again, thanks to Dad for that one. My dad's just phenomenal at picking out gifts for me. Like, doesn't always get me gifts, but when he does, that guy just nails it. And yeah, so this was like a 1972 jersey that was made in 2005 for me, and it had the number 72 on the back, and Canada was the name bar on the back as well. And I was 8 years old, and I held on to this jersey for years and years and years. And Mom was trying to get me to get rid of it when I was like 12 or 13. I was like, no, I can make this work. So, like, you know, the sleeves are up to here on my forearm. So if you're watching on YouTube, you know exactly where I'm at. But if you're listening on Spotify or elsewhere, it was like just just below my elbow with this jersey. And like, I managed to stretch it over my gut, and I was like, no, it fits, Mom, it fits. But eventually just had to get rid of it. But yeah, no, my dad was the best at getting me gifts. And that 1972 Canada jersey from when I was 8 years old, the best gift my dad probably got me. I'm sure he's gotten me lots and lots of cool gifts, because he has. My dad gets that right most of the time. But yeah, that was the one I really remember. And actually, also that year, my dad, it was probably like, he just nailed the my 8th Christmas so well. He also got me like one of those electric car racing tracks. My sister and I played with that so much. It was so much fun. And then he actually bought 2 of them for us so we could build super tracks. Again, Dad, I know you listen, so that was actually like one of my favorite Christmases ever because of what you got us. And like, my old man, he knows how to do Christmas. It's not like the traditional everyone else's Christmas. We just do a lot of cool stuff with my dad. Like, oh, phenomenal man. So yeah, if you ever want to know, if you ever want to know how to do Christmas right with your kids, contact my dad, Pete, if he wants to be contacted. I don't know. It's hard to get a hold of him sometimes, but my dad, absolute legend, knows how to just do Christmas right. So shout out to my dad, Pete, for getting Christmas right and giving me some of the best gifts I've ever gotten. So yeah, the big question of the week is, what is on my Jets wish list? What do I want for the Winnipeg Jets moving into 2022? Well, Santa gave me the gift already of a fired Paul Maurice, but wasn't fired, or no more Paul Maurice behind the bench. And I thought that he would be fired. Turns out, nope, he stepped down, which I absolutely love. I wrote an article about that over at jetsnation.ca. Make sure you check that out. It's a couple weeks old, but you can still read it. It's still really relevant. But so Santa already nailed my wish list. But I would love to see more scoring from the Winnipeg Jets. I wrote an article about Jacob Chychrun at jetsnation.ca. That one was written on Christmas Eve, so definitely check that one out. It's still really relevant. But Jacob Chychrun has scored 20 goals since the start of the 2021 calendar year. The Jets defense, that's all 8 of them, any guys that have played defense, have scored a grand total of 18 goals. So if one guy can score 20 and 8 guys can score 18, well, this is pretty darn embarrassing. So yeah, I want to see more Jets scoring from the blue line. I know we got to see it with Brennan Dillon and Josh Morrissey 2 Fridays ago when the Jets took on the Washington Capitals. Phenomenal game. I was a big fan of it. I know it wasn't the result we wanted when Dave Lowry first took step into the bench boss position, but Jets got rolling. We got to see some defensive scoring, and I genuinely hope we get to see a whole lot more of it. I think Dave Lowry is going to do the right thing and get more scoring for the Jets on their defensive line. And man, if the Jets could start scoring, you know, I don't need to see guys scoring 20 goals on the blue line, but if we could see an average of like, well, not, let's say the high end is, I don't know, let's say 15 goals on Jets scoring, and the low end is like 7 goals between some of those lower end guys like Logan Stanley. Let's just say that guy puts the puck on the net and he puts up 7 goals. And that's the low end. I would love it. Love it more than anything else. Yeah, Jacob Chychrun would be a phenomenal grab because he's going to be around till the end of the 25 season. 24. Yeah, no, sorry, I am wrong. It was the end of the 2024 season. Because my editor and I had a very good chat about that. So thank you, Thomas, if you are tuning into this. Phenomenal guy. And yeah, he's been very patient with me and writing those articles. So yeah, Jacob Chychrun would be a super gift, but I will take genuine goals from the blue line with the Winnipeg Jets. That's my first wish on the list. My next wish would be for capacity fans in Canada Life Center. So still trying to get that in my noggin that it's not MTS or Bell MTS. Depends on which area you're from. But yeah, no, I just want to see a full capacity in there. It's weird. I've been watching the World Juniors all day, and it's so odd watching games with a half-empty barn, or even an empty barn at this point, because I know that first game that was happening in Edmonton this afternoon was pretty empty, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm glad 6 people showed up. So yeah, capacity. I want to see capacity. COVID can kick rocks. I'm tired of this. And like, whether you blame the government or blah, 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 I'll get into a little conspiracy a little bit. Well, not conspiracy, but just a little COVID talk. But it doesn't matter how you see the government in all of this. We just want it to go away. That's all we want. So I don't know what to tell anyone at this point. If you're not vaccinated, you're not going to change your mind. I don't feel like just screaming at the void and talking to a wall. So do whatever you think is right. Let's just say that. And that's how I look at this, is do what's right. But if you want to get vaccinated and help the cause, get vaccinated. You'd be awesome for that. And my final wishes for the Jets and Jets Nation in total, I want Jets gear, Jets Nation gear. I've been talking lots about it. I've been trying to come up with ideas for Jets Nation gear. Haven't seen any of it come out yet, but it's coming soon. I can tell you that much, but I want to see it sooner rather than later. The big thing is, yeah, we just got to make Jets Nation gear happen. I will let you know that JetsNation.ca is doing a Boxing Day sale. I'm not sure if it's Boxing Week or Boxing Day, but I know they're doing 25% off their entire store. So if you know somebody that's a fan of the Oilers, the Flames, the Canucks, the Leafs, and the Toronto Blue Jays, head over to nationgear.ca. They'll hook you up. They've got phenomenal merchandise. I love it. I've got quite a bit myself, and this is a real story. All my stories are real, but this happened to me in the summertime. I went on my first date with my now girlfriend, and what did I wear? I wore Nation gear to that first date. Did she judge me? No. In fact, she said she really liked my sweater. It's an Oilers Nation sweater, because I'm still kind of loyal to my team, but not fully or completely. But yeah, they sent me a really nice sweater a few years ago when I bought it. Still have it, still love it, still wear it quite a bit. But yeah, she's just like, wow, that's a really nice sweater you got there. And Nation gear got me to have a girlfriend. Also, being a fabulous human being helped as well. But that's not the only reason. We're going to blame that on Nation gear. So if you want yourself a new partner and you want to look incredibly good for a first date, make sure you go over to nationgear.ca. So, next question of the day is, how long do I think the COVID pause is going to last? Originally, we were told that till the 27th, and then they've postponed games till the 28th. And to be perfect, and then, so we've had the last 2 days off with no COVID testing, haven't seen any players, and I kind of forgot about it. I was like, oh yeah, things are going to return. And then today, Puck Empire had the full list of NHL players that have tested positive for COVID. And holy smokes, it's a lot. And it's been like a couple of days since we've had off, so I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Players are getting COVID left, right, and center. Fortunately, most of them are fairly low symptoms, and we can be pretty happy about that. But the NHL is probably going to want to protect their assets. Their players are assets. Let's be honest about that. And to keep those assets as healthy as possible, I think they're going to cancel games until, well, I don't know when. My best guess is probably January 5th or 7th or 10th, somewhere in there. The only thing that they wouldn't stop for is those outdoor games. I think they have a couple happening on January 1st. Honestly, they happen so often now that it's just like another game for me. It's like, okay, cool. You guys have played in California. You played in the rain. You played in the snow. I mean, like, let's go back to that year where Buffalo and Pittsburgh played in the snow, and Crosby, I don't know. That was a cool memory for me. But that's a lot of money for the NHL to give up if they last minute cancel the outdoor games. So, but if it wasn't for the outdoor games, I could see the NHL canceling games from, well, now until January 10th, just to make sure that everyone's A-okay. I know, like, only 2 Jets have tested positive for COVID. That's Andrew Kopp and Vasalainen. Don't know if anyone else has tested positive. That was the last word I got. Yeah, like, I scoured the internet, couldn't find anything today, so just 2 Jets with COVID, but we don't know what's going to happen in, let's say, 2 weeks, and let's just say, hypothetically, Omicron just gets all of the Jets and they go down like the Calgary Flames. Is the NHL going to cancel for all that? I don't know. And with things constantly changing day in, day out, we don't know what's going to happen with the NHL. They could give us 2 days worth of games and then cancel on us again. And as of right now, it looks like Calgary is going to be the only team that's going to be able to have a successful rest of their season, because they've had everyone catch corona except for 2 players, Matty Tkachuk, and actually that's a lie. Just 1 player, Matty Tkachuk. Their last guy, I think it wasn't Blake Coleman. I can't even remember who it was. But their second last player to get COVID got it. So it's just Matty Tkachuk that ended up being safe and sound from COVID-19. Either way, I don't know what's the best option for the NHL. It's just going to be kind of we might miss games, and we might only get a 70-game season and then watch something kind of fun happen where it's just another pandemic bubble playoff situation where people are going to be like, well, that really didn't count as a Stanley Cup win. But I'm still going to say that Tampa Bay legitimately won their 2020 Stanley Cup. The 21 Stanley Cup, that one's a lot more questionable in my personal opinion. But a win is a win, and back-to-back championships under odd circumstances definitely warrants you to be a back-to-back champion. So, honestly, I could see the NHL pausing until January 10th, but it's hard to say, especially with the outdoor games. That's the only way I'm looking at it if things go a little bit squirrely for the NHL. So, yeah. World Juniors, I've talked about it already this podcast, but what is my favorite moment? Well, I think, if I'm going back to the correct year, it's 2006, Jordan Eberle scoring on the Russians. Johnny Tavares throws the puck on net, gets blocked, Eberle picks up the puck, puts it in. Phenomenal goal. And, I rewatched that play, and, I remember watching it as a kid and being like, wow, that was crazy. And watching it now as an adult, be like, wow, that is crazy. And even better, it was just you could listen to that shift in the crowd. Everyone's kind of going bananas already, and then they go super bananas on the same play, watching Eberle score. Did they tie it up there? I can't remember right now. I'm just blanking. I'm sorry. I'm a little sick, and I'm just trying to use up as little energy as I can. So that's where I'm at. That's why I sound a little bit more hoarse. I think I've already said that this podcast. I'm sorry. We're running on fumes and coffee to keep us rolling, because being sick at Christmas time sucks. So yeah, that's my favorite moment. If you're too young to remember it, go watch it on YouTube. If you haven't seen it in a few years, because you keep missing the top 10 on TSN or SportsCenter, or not SportsCenter, Sportsnet, go watch that play. It's phenomenal. I think it's the best play in World Junior Championship history. So, yeah, but let me know what you think. What was your favorite moment in World Junior Championship history? You can let me know. You can slide into my DMs on Instagram, Twitter, Angus Hout. You can also comment on the video below if you're on YouTube, and I think Apple Podcasts let you comment. I'm still trying to find those comments, and I can't find them yet, so. But, yeah. Eberle scoring, 2006. Phenomenal play. Blows my mind every time I see it, and it just gets better and better every single time. Next question is, which Jet has impressed me the most? So this one, and I think a lot of Jets accounts have asked that question over the last few days, just because it's an easy question. It's lots of fun because we're at kind of the weird kind of halfway point of the season, but not really the halfway point of the season. So I'm tied. I'm very back and forth on 2 players here. The first one, Kyle Connor, top 4 in NHL scoring with 18 goals this season. He's played phenomenally, and I love to see it. And even during November, the back half of November, when he wasn't playing that great, he was he was still doing good things, just because he wasn't scoring, he was still doing good things. So Kyle Connor has really impressed me, but Pierre-Luc Dubois, he has won my heart over. I know last season was not a great one for him. We all know why. There's 1,000 reasons for it, and I think we get to give him an excuse. But the fact that he's returned to form, and he's phenomenal. PLD, top 14 in scoring in the NHL. Didn't write down how many goals he has, but he's a top 20 scorer in the NHL currently. The guy is amazing. I love to watch him every night. That back check is phenomenal. and he gives everything he's got. So Pierre-Luc Dubois has actually impressed me the most. Kyle Connor, just so close, but Pierre-Luc Dubois plays the style of hockey that I love to watch. It's gritty, it's a little bit mean, and he's just given everything he's got. So Pierre, thank you so much for showing up this year, and I genuinely hope you get a real big contract. I mean, realistically, I think PLD could pick up, solid $7 million, $7.5 million contract. If he wants to be really cool and stick around Winnipeg and maybe pick up a $6 million contract, 6x6. Come on, Pierre, be kind. Stay around Winnipeg. I like you a lot. I'd be willing to buy your jersey. I'm sure you could pocket the extra $20 that you make off of those jersey sales. Actually, if anyone could tell me how much do NHLers make off of those sales, I genuinely want to know, because otherwise I'm going to buy the knockoff one from China because I don't care, and I'll save myself a couple of dollars. But if the NHLer actually gets to make a couple bucks off of a jersey sale that I have his name on, I will 100% give him a little bit of extra money. I know it's not the same as legitimately supporting a independent artist or business, but guy's got to make money somehow. And the way inflation's going, I feel bad for NHL players that are making millions and millions of dollars. And what if that millions of dollars turns into absolutely nothing because inflation? Yeah, you're getting a full history lesson today there, folks. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, Pierre-Luc Dubois, most impressive player as a Jet this season, and I genuinely want him back as a Jet. If he could retire a Winnipeg Jet, I would be so ecstatic. Like, I don't know, there's just something about his play style that I think every NHL team needs, and when you have an elite version of that kind of a player, I think he's like legitimately brought back the power forwards to the NHL, and I love it. And like, power forwards get me excited. Jarome Iginla, I hated watching him as a kid because I grew up an Oilers fan, but Jarome Iginla was one of the best power forwards in the NHL, and if you deny that, well, come up to Dauphin and we can fight by the old train station. I'm sure that's allowed. But yeah, Jarome Iginla. I know it's not perfect parallels. I know there's a lot of differences between the two players, but I like Pierre-Luc Dubois, and I think he's kind of bringing back a new version of the power forward. All right, so hypothetical question. If the NHL does cancel the season, and we're looking at kind of a different format for the playoffs, what I think should happen is King's Court rules. So if you're like, okay, what's that mean? So basically, the NHL would have all 32 teams play in a winner-take-all Stanley Cup version. So basically how it would go is you would have teams 32 and 31 play each other. So I think that's Ottawa and Arizona. So whoever is the better team gets to play at home. So I think it's Arizona would be number 31 right now. So the winner of that game would take on team number 30. The winner of that game take on 29, and so on and so forth. So, just run it up until you get to the top team. Top team takes on whoever played up to that point. So hypothetically, we could look at like a Royal Rumble version of the NHL playoffs this year. I think it would be so outrageous and so stupid, but no one would like seem to care, because I think it's just like we've all kind of hit that point where it's just like, COVID sucks, but let's have some fun with it. I think we got to go into every gimmick we can. Like, sometimes gimmicks just sell. I mean, look at the WWE. When they have gimmicks, those gimmicks work. So, like, let the NHL become a little bit of a goof league, and let's just go for it. Let's go and buy into the absolute absurd things. So, yeah. Do I want to see a hypothetical, like, Arizona take on, I think Tampa's probably the best. No, Tampa isn't the best team. Sorry, I'm off in last year's land. Carolina feels like they should be in first this year. So if we could get an Arizona-Carolina Stanley Cup final, that would do phenomenal for both the Coyotes and the Hurricanes, because those teams both need to pick it up. Let's be honest with that. And then, they would bring in fans, they'd bring in money and revenue, and I think it would just be hilarious just to watch Arizona potentially compete for a cup. I think it would it'd feel hurtful to fans of Jets 1.0 because it's like, oh man, that's my team winning or playing for the Stanley Cup while Jets 2.0 is out because we lost to, well, let's just say Minnesota because that's just an easy cop out. So, yeah, I kind of want to see a weird round robin King's Court version of the NHL playoffs, and just one game determines the entire thing. So, my other question is, would I rather, let's just say COVID really ravages the NHL and the Canadian government, the U.S. government are like, nope, no one's allowed to travel over the border. It doesn't matter if there's sports leagues involved. So I had written down, would I rather see a Canadian division finish off the rest of the NHL season, or would I rather Canadian teams move to American cities for the time being until things got worked out? And I was like, oh, well, I like to see the American teams play, especially when we have bad teams like Chicago and Arizona. They're not half bad teams, but they're easy wins. And then you look at someone like Ottawa Senators and you're like, I don't know if this is a guaranteed win or not. Just something about Ottawa that's just I hate betting against them. It's mostly because I lost a lot of money on a single game last year because of the Ottawa Senators, so I don't play with them as much because it's there's no guarantee win or lose with the Ottawa Senators. They lost me a lot of money last year when I was gambling. So I'll be honest about that. But honestly, I think I would rather see the Jets move down south and, let's just say, probably, let's just say they move down to North Dakota. North Dakota has a university down there, and I don't know how great it would be for NHL competition, but I think it'd be lots of fun. You could bring out potential new fans, and it's just a half season. I mean, yeah, it would suck to lose fans at Canada Life Center, but honestly, I would rather a small building filled with fans that can be at the game versus an empty building of MTS and just oh, okay, cool. No one's here. It's just sad, annoying hockey again. I mean, how annoying was it last year when you would watch a game in Florida where the crowd was right into it even though they had 9,000 people in the stands versus 0 fans in Winnipeg or really any Canadian city. So I think I'd rather teams go down south, if I'm totally honest. And I'll ask Garnell this question next week as well. But yeah, I prefer fans in the buildings, and I think the fans do as well. So there we go. I'll take the Jets playing in some American city over an empty MTS or Canada Life Center. Are we going by CLC at this point? Does anyone call it CLC? I don't know. Or how long does it get till we call it CLC? Or am I just going to determine that now? We're going to start calling it CLC. So get on board with CLC. All right. So if the Jets do play within the next week, they're going to be taking on the Blackhawks, the Calgary Flames, and the Vegas Golden Knights. So Blackhawks, I mean, every time I try to say easy win for the Jets, I think it's going to be an easy win for the Jets. I've got that feeling, and I'm going to write about it over at jetsnation.ca once again, where I have my betting articles. If you like betting, go read those articles. They're not nothing special, but they're fun. They're easy reads, and you get to watch me lose a lot of money. Except for on the parlays. Those ones I'm just solid at. I hit 2 out of 3 parlays a week because of this. I'm glad I can track that out, but the rest of those bets, I'd probably just bet against me. But should be an easy win for the Jets against the Blackhawks. The Flames, I think the Flames are actually going to be tired and exhausted. Just from what I understand about COVID and what it has done to players during the season, you look at Blake Wheeler during the month of November when he came back from COVID protocol, he was slow. And it took him a while to get his feet back under him. So I think the same thing's going to happen with the Calgary Flames or any team that got ravished by COVID. They're just going to be slow. They're going to be sluggish. And it's not their fault. It's just COVID just knocked the wind out of them. So I think it's going to be not an easy win, but it's going to be a win for the Jets against the Flames. And I believe that's on Friday night. And then they are taking on the Golden Knights next Sunday. And I think that one's going to go into an overtime and be a loss for the Jets. So I think the Jets can pick up 5 out of the possible 6 points here in the next week, which would be amazing. I'd have to actually look at the standings. It's been a weird week. I haven't looked at the standings once. It's actually kind of a nice week to just take it off and then write some nonsense articles. Not nonsense, just fun little articles. So yeah, make sure you go read those at jetsnation.ca. I'm pushing it a lot. There's not a lot to talk about tonight, so that's what you get. And my hot and cold performers of the week. Start off with my veggies. The cold performer of the week has to be Omicron, and just the fact that it's like sucked the life out of so much stuff. I mean, Ontario had over 10,000 cases of COVID there the other day. I mean, Manitoba, we're looking at, I believe we're over 1,000 cases a day, and we have like a tenth of the population in Ontario, so that kind of sucks. I know they've got like 10,000, or is it 10,000? They've got like a lot of, they haven't been able to tell people how many cases are out there right now because there's a backlog of whether cases are positive or not, and just like, there's a lot of things going on. I don't understand a whole lot about what's happening. I'm just the guy on the radio who talks about it occasionally. Not like I talk about it in depth, I just tell the people the facts that I'm reading off of our website. So, long and short, Omicron, you suck. Stop killing my hockey for me. I miss it, and like, it's been an odd week, but World Juniors are on, so that's been kind of fun to watch. And my hot performer of the week, it needs to go to my Manitoba family. They're not really family, but like, you know how you've been, I don't know if you've ever been adopted by like a family of people, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I'm just one of their clan. Well, that's basically what happened with me and my Manitoba family. But they made me this super sweet sweater. It's a big hoodie, and just like the pattern was space. And if you know anything about me, you know I've got like 2 pairs of like space pants. If you're like, what are space pants? I went to our Dean's and I bought myself pants that have space prints on them. But my, I'll call her my sister. My sister from Manitoba, she made me a sweater for those pants, and it's just like, it's a super warm, super nice sweater. So hot performer of the week needs to go to my Manitoba sister, and actually my girlfriend, who colluded on this project with my sister and my my girlfriend. They're like, what do we get Angus? And they're like, space sweater. So shout out to the people who know me best for just getting Christmas just amazingly right. It wasn't like we got thousands and thousands of dollars of presents, but we got really cool presents. Also, shout out my girlfriend for picking up this mic. So hopefully this podcast sounds a lot better, and yeah, just very easy to fix the sound. And now we got it and spent a little money. So shout out to the people in my life that have been amazing and just helping me out a lot and just giving me like little nice things. So hopefully you had yourself a fantastic Christmas as well. And yeah, have yourself a fantastic start to 2022. Hopefully it's a lot less like 2020 and 2021. And I genuinely wish you the best throughout the 2022 year. Sorry, I'm just stuck in hockey. But either way, have yourself a great year. Have a good time between now and the new year, the weird lull of like 7 days. Yeah, and be safe and be well. Please do not drink and drive. Call a friend, call a cab, call a family member. Just do whatever you need to do to not drink and drive, and you would be just a big thumbs up if you got home safe and sound every day this holiday season, and every day of the year, really. So yeah, have yourself a fantastic night or day, or whatever, whenever you listen to this. Sorry, I'm rambling trying to finish this up, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. You guys are all amazing, and yeah, go check out nationgear.ca for any gifts that you would like for family members that like the Oilers, Flames, Canucks, Leafs, or Blue Jays. And eventually we'll get some Jets Nation gear out there for ourselves as well. Peace and grace, friends, and I will be back on January 2nd for a new episode of Jets Nation Radio. Peace.